Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this week's video, we are going to take a deeper dive into drum synthesis on the Novation Bass Station 2, and we're going to utilize the overlays to create a pattern and utilize those drums that we've just created, and it sounds like this. So today we are going to create a kick, snare, tom, hat, and another little perk. And let's just get into it. So first up, we're going to want to utilize the overlay so then we can have each drum on a single key. So at the moment, it's just playing as a normal keyboard. So what we want to do is go to function. And then you can see we've got all these different functions along here, and we want to go to the overlay. So we'll go function, overlay twice, and then you can see we get this button, we get this flashing light. So we go over to 1, and you can hear now each of them is, each of the keys is going to be a different drum sound. So we want to go through to, this one is just all the same drum, pretty much all the same drums all the way along. So this way, we're going to push function again. Now when we create a kick on this key, it's going to stay on this key, and then we can create a snare on this one, and so on and so forth. So then we can utilize the built-in sequencer to create the pattern that you heard earlier. So first up, let's look at creating a kick. So we've got our key here, and it's already got a bunch of stuff going on. So let me just zero that out, and then we can get to a good starting point. So now we just have this simple sine wave going. But for the kick, we're going to do similar to what we did in the last bass station video, and we are not going to use any of the oscillators. So we have no sound at the moment. We're just going to utilize the resonance and the filter, and then kind of shape it a little bit with the envelope here. So let's go along, and we're going to pull down the filter to 0, and then the resonance up to 100%. Already, you can hear that kick coming through. We want to make sure that we have low pass set for the filter, and then for the mod envelope, we want to have it to about 17. Want to make sure that the envelope select is the amp and mod envelope, and we're going to set a relatively short decay and a little bit of release, but with no sustain. About 45. And 49 on the release there. And you can hear that's there, but it is super subby still. So what we want to do is open that low pass filter, the frequency, and we can start to hear it go up in pitch. That's good at about 20, and then let's just pull down the release just a little bit. Now, one thing that I want to utilize is the mod wheel, and we're going to use that in each of the sounds. So for the kick, we're going to use the mod wheel to change the filter frequency. So for this, you can see again we have these functions up the top here. So we're going to go to function, and then the first one is mod wheel to filter freq. So we can click that, and you can see it flashes here. We can push this all the way. And then as we increase, that's pretty good there. So we go function to lock it in. So now when we make the sequence later, we can use that mod wheel to control a bunch of elements at the same time. So we have our kick. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be the snare. So for the snare, what we want to do is we're going to have the oscillator 1 set to a sine wave, and the tuning is going to be 8 feet. So we have this pretty basic sort of sound. For the mixer, because we've got the sound generation here, we're going to go to the mixer. We want oscillator 1 all the way to 100%, and everything else is going to be turned down for now. We'll go filter is all the way open and no resonance. And the mod envelope depth, we're going to keep that at 0. But what we are going to do is look at the mod envelope depth for pitch, and we're going to start to increase that so we can get that pitching down effect on the sound. So and you can hear that it's going from a higher pitch and pitching it down. So got something going there. Let's make sure that we're set to amp and mod envelope, and then we can adjust the decay to 20 and the release to about 40. Now, one thing that we want to do now is we want a little bit of noise in there as well. So we can start to increase this. We've got 81 there. We could even knock back the mod envelope to the pitch a little bit. Maybe to 14 there. There we go. And again, I want to utilize this mod envelope. So we're going to put this to the LFO1 pitch, which you can see is the second option there. So we'll go function LFO1 to pitch, and then we can increase this, and then let's crank it all the way. And it gives us that sort of weird, so we can go like that. So when we and you can hear that kind of given sort of weird sort of vibe there. So the next one we're going to work on is a hat. We have our basic sound here, but we're not going to utilize any of these oscillators here. We're going to turn them down. We're going to use all noise. This is a pretty basic patch. So we'll go noise. Oh, we've got it set it to external. So let's turn that down. Go to noise. You can hear we're already pretty much in the ballpark there. So let's pull down the filter frequency. And we'll go, the mod envelope depth is going to be set to full. You can hear it's very clicky there. So let's set the envelope here. So decay is going to be up to 25. And the release is going to be to 25. And just open that frequency until we start to get that sound. Maybe a little bit of resonance to kind of push it a bit more, make it a little, you can hear that it sort of gives it a little bit more sharpness. So that's at 0. So let's back that off a little bit. Not very much, we got 4 on the resonance there. So now we have 3 sounds. Maybe turn that volume down just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Just trying to get all the sounds sort of relative volume to each other. So there we go, we have our noise. Next one we're going to work on is the tom. So the tom is very much like the snare in the same setup. We're just going to obviously have it pitched down a little bit more. So got our sound here. We're going to go to oscillator 1. We're going to set that to 16 feet. Actually, that's set to oscillator 2. Make sure we're on oscillator 1. Set that to 16 feet. You can hear it's very low. Let's open that up. So that's the sound at the moment. We want to utilize that mod envelope depth for the pitch again. So we're going to set this. You can hear that drop in there. We're going to set that to about 20. Now for the levels, we'll go oscillator 1 is going to be set to full. And then we want a little bit of noise in there because we want it to be sort of like the older sort of drum machine. So set, got a little bit of noise in there. Filters all the way open. And then we're going to look at the amp envelope now. So the decay is going to be 38. Sustain is all the way down to 0. And then the release is down to 40. I think we're pretty close there. Now that we've done that, let's pull back the frequency a little bit on the filter. To about 134, and then we're going to increase the mod envelope depth. Maybe a little bit more on the release. And there we go for the tom. So now we're starting to get a little collection of sounds. And then again, we're going to, for that tom, we're going to have it so the filter frequency is going to be affected by the mod here. So let's open that up all the way. We have filter frequency, so function and the first, and then we're going to and function, and then let's take the pitch and take that down. We don't want that sort of messing with it too much. There we go. Lastly, let's look at making a metallic sort of perc. So for the metallic perc, we're over here. We're going to utilize 2 oscillators, and yeah, we're going to use 2 oscillators. We're going to tune them to a perfect fifth from each other. So for oscillator 1, we're going to set that to 4, and we're going to actually make that a sawtooth. We come along, and where everything's good for that one, we're going to flick over to oscillator 2. We're going to go to 4 again, and then we're going to make that a sawtooth as well. So I've just turned both of those oscillators up, and then we're going to get the coarse on oscillator 2 and tune that to a fifth. So There we go, there's our sound there. We've got everything else set. So then we're going to come along to the filter freak, and we're going to pull that down to about 80. We want a little bit of resonance on there. Bring that, gives it a little bit more bite on the attack. And then we're going to add a little bit of overdrive as well. We're going to make sure that the envelope select is set to amp and mod envelope. And then we're going to make sure that we are set for the first time to the band pass. Kind of gives a different sort of sound there. Next up, we're going to look at the envelope. So we're going to go attack is going to be to 0. Decay is going to be set to 25. Sustain all the way down. And then release is going to be set to 22. And then just play with the frequency on the filter frequency to kind of get that sort of sound that you're after. So. Let's keep it low, and then we can use the mod envelope to adjust that as well. So we're here, we'll go function, filter freak, and then all the way set there. Don't want it so much. There we go. So now we have these sounds. So we've kind of gone in, made kick, snare, hat, a tom, and we've got this Metalic Perc. It's a little bit loud. Oh no, it'll be fine. So from here, this is where the sort of fun bit comes along. We can utilize the sequencer built in, play a random sequence, and then just have fun with the mod wheel with the bits that we've sort of sent to that mod wheel, being the filter freak and the LFO pitch. So let's just click this over to record, and you can see we've got the little flashing lights. I don't have a pattern that I know, but I'm just going to put in something random and then see how it goes. There we go, something super random. And then we can go to play. And then we want to push the first key in that sequence. We want to have the arpeggiator turned on, obviously. And then obviously we can change the tempo here. And then we have these different rhythms. So increase this a little bit. Already hear that so we'll turn that off. This is a little bit loud, so let's pull these down. About 94 a piece. There we go. Turn the arpeggiator back on. And now we can use the mod wheel . So there you go, we've just gone through sort of taking a little bit deeper dive into drum synthesis on the Bass Station 2, making a kick, snare, hat, tom, and Metalic Perc, and then we took a little bit of a dip in the waters of the overlays and how you can create those drum sounds on the overlay and then utilize the sequencer. Hopefully, if you've got this, you've kind of been able to, and you've been a little bit on the fence of knowing what to do and whatnot, hopefully this showed you a little step-by-step breakdown of how you can do that. Obviously, the overlay is not limited just to drums. You can put synthesis parts in there as well. I just wanted to show drum parts for the most part and show how you can utilize them on the overlay. At the end of the day, hopefully you've enjoyed this music, and the biggest thing is hopefully this has inspired you to create something. Until next time, see you later.